Why? Hi, Cyber Sisters and Misters. Welcome back. Today's video is part 2 of video number 3 in the Sunkissed series. If you're here and haven't seen part 1, I highly recommend that you watch it first, or you'll have no idea who Aunt Stella, Roxy, and Anonymous are. In part 1, it was revealed that Aunt Stella and Roxy had seriously double-crossed Anonymous. We paused after Anonymous had confronted Aunt Stella about the ultimate double-cross. So if you're as anxious as I am for the conclusion, stay with me. She was quiet. Then she told me that she was calling to apologize. Why now? Why? She asked me to meet her at the bank on my lunch break. I left the bank that afternoon with $5,000 cash. Cash money. This woman swore that she will repay every penny that she owes me within 6 months. Roxy gave me $1,200 too, and Snot Cry begged me not to file charges. I guess to really emphasize the intentions, Roxy came through a few days later and pressed another $500 in my hands. Guess they mean business. I know I was stupid for not getting on top of my credit from the jump. I wouldn't call you stupid. My head is all screwed up. Should I press charges immediately or see how the payment arrangements go first? Is Roxy equally to blame even though Aunt Stella put her up to this when she was a teen? How would you have handled this differently? I read this letter and I felt so bad for you. I'm so sorry you lost your dad. So sorry. We all encounter devastating losses and celebratory gains. Earning your degree is definitely a gain. Congratulations. In spite of all of the adversity, congratulations. Bravo. Because we love our family and we don't want to play a part in seeing them get into trouble, we're reluctant to hold them accountable, legally especially. This way of trying to make things easier for others can definitely be to the detriment of ourselves. Now, unsugar-coated, this sounds like identity theft to me. Clear cut. And by persuading a minor to break the law too, these actions may fit the elements of another offense, contributing to the delinquency of minors. Would I have handled this differently? Today, absolutely. Fresh out of high school, early college years, who knows? I know this much. That glass always looks squeaky clean when we're on the outside looking in, right? Keeping that in mind, I'm going to start at the top of your letter and work my way down. First, understand this is not legal advice. I'm not qualified to offer any of that. This is YouTube Nikki, Internet Nikki, Sunkissed. Entrepreneurship is awesome, amazing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. The pie is big enough for everybody to get a slice. It just sucks that they decided to step on you to get their slice. Open quotations. I didn't want to make things more difficult for her. Close quotation. See, you've been confused in keeping the peace with not holding them accountable. The peace was broken when your information was allegedly used without your consent. There wasn't a drag-out fight, but the blatant disrespect for your future disturbed your peace. Quietly at first, but you hear it now. When they misuse your identifying information for their own financial gain, to me, this became less of a family matter and a legit legal matter. Identity theft can follow you for the rest of your life. I believe it precedes us, actually. Poor credit, it can keep you from renting an apartment, from buying that new home. Now, you ran into issues trying to buy a used car, so just imagine when you're ready to buy a home. When your dad was placed in the home, she was bold with keeping it right under your nose, talking about don't bother the staff, don't be running up in their face. Well, she wasn't concerned about the staff. She didn't want you asking the right questions and finding out about those billing arrangements. Conniving much, Auntie? You go to discuss it, and she calls you everything but a child of God. But you expected that. Otherwise, you would have done it sooner. Even knowing that she felt entitled to abuse your credit, you still didn't take any action to protect yourself. And guess what? She probably knew you wouldn't. Now, you may not have known exactly what to do, but at 19 or 20 years old, I believe you knew that you needed to do something. Something other than put it on the back burner. I was hoping that I would keep reading and you say something like, I had those cards canceled, I had the businesses close out the accounts, anything. I was hoping to hear anything like that. But fast forward. The lowest blow of all, you were listed as the responsible party for your dad's bills. You're just coming into your financial chapters of your life. That's the last thing you need. Now, that's why I felt so bad about this whole situation. Your aunt, stepmom, who's hiding mail and hid your father too. That's too much. It's too much. Whew. Now, I've seen some low down, underhanded, don't give a care type of con artist. And your letter painted that picture perfectly of your stepmom auntie. We used to say when I was a little girl, she ain't got no shame. Honey, she has no shame. Now, your auntie is asking you not to report this to the police. Remember, there's much more at stake here than you being on the hook financially. What about your credit score? Now that you've graduated, what about finding a job in your field? Poor credit scores can affect your prospects for employment also. I know some of the big mega churches that will review credit reports before allowing members to hold certain volunteer positions in the congregation. You will not be walking around collecting tithes and offering and cash donations when your stuff is not together. The name of the game is trust. And on paper, you aren't looking too trustworthy. You're not. To answer your questions though, should you press charges immediately or see how the payment arrangements go? Is Roxy equally responsible in this case? And how would I have handled this differently? Knowing what I know now, my first priority would be to protect myself from future identity strikes. You know what I'm saying? Like being proactive versus reactive. I'd visit www.ftc.gov. This website is managed by the Federal Trade Commission. There you can also report identity theft. I decide if I wanted to have a credit freeze placed on my credit. Okay, consider this. They don't keep their word and you decide to take legal action. When you begin notifying companies that you didn't make these charges, their fraud division is likely to advise you to file a police report. By you filing the police report can further support your claim that you weren't involved. There's different types of police reports. We'll talk about an information report right now. There's charges when you file an offense report, not an information report. Report this incident to get this documented and at least get an information report. But just be ready to bear it all and give an accurate account of what you know to be true. Let me stop. Let me reverse. Let's cut to the chase. It's very unlikely that you are going to press charges against your family. I mean, for years you've allowed this to slide. First incident, $2,500. Slide. Second incident, slide. And by the way that your letter is written, you don't want to believe that Roxy is liable for any of this. And maybe legally she isn't, depending on the specific laws in your state. But morally, she's not off the hook in my book. You see, I notice when you talk about your sister, your words are much gentler. For instance, you said your stepmom paid you money, but you said your sister gave you money. Weren't they both filling your pockets for the same reason? So why is one paying but the other is giving? This leads me to believe that if you ever report this to the police, you would downpay Roxy's involvement to try to protect her. So to avoid getting yourself in hot water by filing a false police report, false by omission of the facts as you know them to be, and concentrate on getting your money from your family the legal way. Now, you believe your stepmom received a huge lump sum from your dad's life insurance policies. Forget installments. Stop leaving room to be victimized and double-crossed again. You're still content with moving and flowing on her terms, being told how things will go. Tell them how things will go. You do the legwork. Get your paperwork and your proof in order. Request a promissory note from them and a lump sum from her. Don't be greedy now. You need the loss amount that she's caused you, plus the cost to repair your credit, so that you can get those entries removed from your credit report swiftly. Again, don't be greedy, but don't cut yourself short either. Speak up for yourself. To the guests and subscribers, what would you do in this case? I want to hear from you. So stretch those fingers and pop those knuckles and get to typing it all down there in the comment section. Give me some food for thought that I can read while I munch on my snacks. It doesn't matter if we agree or if we disagree. I just want to hear from you. I'm sure I barely nipped the tip of this iceberg, but when it comes to family, there's no one way to do things. A, B, and C may work for you. B, C, and D may be a better fit for me. So don't take any of this as legal advice to bypass getting an attorney or whomever else that you may need to consult. This is strictly commentary. We're just chatting here. Anywho, live, learn, stay focused, stay strong, and stay off of that playground. Because letting everything just slide, it's not working out. It's not working out. Okay. But the best of luck to you. If you want to share a popping public post, a crazy question, or a saucy story that I can feature on this channel, email me or send me a DM on the gram at sunkissed_nick. Share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for choosing this channel.
Bye-bye. Click the link above for a session of Sunkissed Says or another classy, sassy hair tutorial.